Yo guys, Deutsches here, and today I've got a long-awaited video on the next DLC idea I've got, and this was requested by some commenters on some of my older idea videos. This one is called Infestation, and it's a completely zombies-only map pack. Remember, this is an idea. I'm going to say this in all my idea videos because I don't want people to think it's real. Here's the picture I made on Photoshop. I do this with all of the ideas I come up with, and as I said, this is the first zombies-only one that I've been doing. The previous one was Sentinel, so go check that out. There will be a link on screen and in the description. And the first one was Transition. You can also find that in the description as well. So, Infestation, since this is a zombies only map pack, it's going to have a lot of detail into it, and this is going to be the map pack with the most thought gone into it. So this video will definitely not cover everything. This will just be an overview video, sort of like a reveal, just telling you the maps and giving you a brief idea of what they're going to be and what they'll be like. And then I'll go and do each individual map in a separate video, so you can get a better idea of what's included. Now, if Treyarch does pick this up, I'm not sure if they did actually pick up the Transition video, because there was an idea in there, and that was a long time ago, to bring back Summit, and that did get over 6,000 views, and they actually brought back Summit in Vengeance. Here's the first map in Infestation. It's called No Man's Land. No Man's Land, as the title suggests, it does take place in World War I. So this is the first map in Call of Duty history, I think, this actually took place in that time era. So this would take place just after Mob of the Dead, I would imagine, or just before. I'm not entirely sure what time period Mob of the Dead takes place in. It's sort of like the Prohibition era. So this takes place in World War I, and is mainly in and around the trenches. So you're going to have very close quarters combat in there, but the trenches will also go into like a deeper cave network. So because this map takes place at that sort of time period, Mob of the Dead style, like, the zombies are going to have red eyes because it's taking on from that story, and introduces 4 brand new characters who are all soldiers of the British Army during that time, and they all got a different personality, and I'll go more into detail about them in the video I do on No Man's Land. But with No Man's Land, it's going to feature probably the largest array of new weaponry, and a wonder weapon as well. It'll have sort of World War I style weapons, so you're going to see things like the Lee Enfield you've seen in much older Call of Duties, and the Bren and the Sten, British World War I, World War II style weapons. Those sort of classic weapons will be in No Man's Land. And with No Man's Land, there'll also be a survival and a grief mode taking place in the tunnels area. That'll be the separate part of it called tunnels. And the main part of it is trenches, and that'll take place around the trenches, and that'll be called No Man's Land. Now, with No Man's Land, the idea that we had for the zombies, like what, like sort of nationality they'd be, is probably German and British, maybe French, I'm not sure. It depends where the trench network's going to be, we're not sure yet. It could take place in France, because that had a very large No Man's Land. So that'd be a good area to do it in. As for boss zombies, we're thinking sort of like fog worm zombies. This came with the biohazard idea. We're thinking of bringing them back. They're sort of nova worms. They hide in the smoke and they jump at you and they poison you, which will take damage over time. Anyway, getting on to the next idea, the next map I mean. The next map is called Death Deep. And Death Deep, as the name sort of implies, it takes place in the deep ocean. And this idea came from some other videos I watched from other YouTubers, and this actually takes place in Atlantis, and this takes place after the biohazard idea. So if you watch my biohazard video, you'd know that the zombies' eyes are green in that because Maxis has control. Now, I have to go back on that, because in the buried Easter egg recently, Maxis gains control at the end of the Maxis side of Mind Games, and the zombies' eyes turn orange. So I haven't been able to change that, but I can change it in this video to tell you guys that if this map did go ahead, the zombies' eyes would be orange, not green as the photo implied. But Maxis would be in control at this point. As for the biohazard storyline, if you haven't watched them videos, go watch them, because they've got an individual storyline of their own that I've come up with. So as I said, this takes place in Atlantis, the lost city. A lot of people know what Atlantis is. And because of these Argatha theories that have come up because of Buried and before Buried, I thought Atlantis would probably be another place because it's sort of linked in with Agartha. It'd be another likely place that Treyarch could do. They could make this map. It would link in with the storyline pretty nicely, and they could do some fun things with the water. So maybe you start above ground in some areas of Atlantis that haven't actually sunk, and then you have to go underwater into Atlantis itself. So you never know, you could have to use like a PES style water suit, like the one you had in Moon, but a water one. That'd work. As for boss zombies, there could be something to do with the water. Shark zombies. That sounds kind of far-fetched, but you know, that'd be pretty cool. We've got shark zombies that sort of flew after you while you were underwater. They'd have to introduce a new swimming mechanic though. But in the transition idea, we did have something about a swimming mechanic in one of the maps called Hidden. So if you want to go see that, go watch the transition videos. Now, the third map in the Infestation map pack is called Theatre of the Dead. Now, this is a fan favourite brought back. This is Kino de Totten from Black Ops 1. The reason I renamed it is because I wanted Shark are good at reskinning maps rather than just bringing them back like Infinity Ward do. Infinity Ward tend to do something like they did with Terminal and Modern Warfare 3, they just bring it back, they don't really spice it up. Whereas Treyarch, they tend to bring a map back and reskin it, make it look better, give it a new feel like they did with Summit in Vengeance called Uplink. So with Theatre of the Dead, I was thinking, since Mob of the Dead has red eye zombies, maybe Theatre of the Dead could be like a hell for the old characters, because Mob of the Dead was sort of like hell. It was purgatory for the 4 gangsters because they did bad in the real world and they died and they went to hell. So I was thinking maybe the old characters could visit hell, and that would be Kino de Totten. They'd be in this Nazi style theatre and they would have to face their fears, and that would set the stage for Theatre of the Dead. So it'd sort of be a reskinned Kino de Totten with a Mob of the Dead style feel. I thought that'd be a good idea. So you get the zombies' eyes of red, but you have the same style layout as Kino de Totten, but it looks more hellish and has more, you know, references to hell and purgatory, and the afterlife mode would obviously return because of that, and the vault meters and stuff. So, you know, that'd be a pretty cool idea. Now, as for the next map, this is also a bring back from the original Call of Duty Black Ops. This is 5. And I wanted to bring this back quite differently. In the last one, you could play as President JFK and the other presidents and secretary and stuff like that. I think this could take place in 2025 in the Pentagon, and you could play as David Mason, Harper, President Bosworth, and Samuel. I forgot what the guy is. It's like the black FBI character from the campaign. So you could play as the campaign characters. Now that would be cool because you could never play as Harper in the campaign. You can only play as David Mason. So this would be a chance to play as Harper in Zombies, and it'd have more of a futuristic style feel. So you get more futuristic weapons off the wall and in the box. Maybe a reskinned Mischief box. It'd be the most futuristic base level, and it'd also take elements from Die Rise. So you have perks in the elevators this time, which means you have to get on the elevators to actually go up between floors. So you could take elements from Die Rise there, and you could also it'd be a reskin of 5 from the original Black Ops with some new features, obviously with the perks in the elevators. Maybe Who's Who could be in that map. So, you know, that's a good idea. The zombies would have blue eyes at this stage. This would take place during when Rift Defend has control of the zombies, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, a lot of thought went into the last map in this map. I guess why it's in the centre is the biggest one, because I wanted this to be sort of the ultimatum of zombies. If they're ever going to do a last map, this would be the best place to do it. This is called Satan Chasm, and this would sort of be like a nightmare. It would have the new characters, because Treyarch hinted that they'll close out the new characters' story, and in the mind game Easter eggs you can kind of see the dead bodies, but never tells you if they're dead. What could happen is the new characters die, and then they go to Satan Chasm, which is sort of hell. It's like Mob of the Dead, but it's a few more layers down. They say you have things like Purgatory, Limbo, and then Hell, rather than, you know, just Hell and Heaven. So they go right down into the bottom, right, and they have to survive against many different zombies. So I think this would be the hardest map, and it'd be the most scary, and it would probably be the ultimatum of zombies. It would close out the storyline. If they were going to close out zombies, which I hope they don't do for a long time, but if they did, they need to make it go out with a bang, and this would be the best way to do it, to sort of have the new characters sort of fight off against hordes of the undead in hell. So that's pretty much the overview of all the maps, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more ideas, and don't forget to